Whether it's a dispute with your landlord, a divorce, or a custody battle, time in court can be costly. The American Bar Association is promoting a new public service campaign to make people aware of mediation, whether it's right for them. This is Mediation Week. Attorney Mark Powers joins us now to talk more about it, see if it's right for you. Good morning. Thanks for being here.
Thanks for having me, Sean.
First, explain the process to someone who says, wait, you know, if I can avoid court time and all the costs that go with it, how do I know if this is the right step?
Well, it's become, at least in my experience, the policy and practice of a lot of courts now, prior to getting into the discovery process and maybe some legal actual hearings, to suggest mediation to the parties. I found it personally that mediation, a high percentage of the time, maybe 95 or more % of the time, really works effectively for people, because what we do, and especially in large cases, for instance, we have a case right now where we have, I think at last count, 12 attorneys involved, wow, where it gets everybody into at least the same area to sit down in a little bit less of an adversarial type position and talk about the facts, and have a third party, that being the mediator, sit down and say, boy, perhaps you folks are a little out of your league here, a little too high on this particular position, or this may not go your way, and actually sit down and maybe come to a resolution without the time in court and, again, the adversarial process.
And to point out, who are these mediators? These are former judges, people with expert analysis.
Certainly. There are a lot of retired judges who certainly have seen just about every case that comes through the court system. There are private bar attorneys that do this as well. Private bar attorneys usually are focusing in the area they practice in before, and they're great as well because, again, they have a lot of time and high expertise in that particular field, so they certainly know what they're doing and can have a very good unbiased look at the facts that are at issue.
What should you consider? What are the pros and cons before you go that route?
Well, I personally think there are a substantial amount of pros. Okay?
Yeah.
The pros being, there's two things. First of all, as I said, you get everybody sitting down and at least having some dialogue about the facts, and hopefully can come to a resolution. That's certainly a good thing. The other part is instead of spending time in court, spending a lot of money, because let's be honest, litigation is very, very expensive. We have a number of attorneys who are going to get paid, and simply the fact is time is money. So I think there's a lot of unnecessary costs that can be alleviated by sitting down and hopefully coming to some resolutions. A lot of times the facts aren't necessarily in dispute. It comes down to what the damages are, what people are asking for. And again, having a third party can sometimes settle that issue.
And briefly, before you go, how do you find one?
A lot of times the judges, when they do make the suggestions in court, will have a default suggestion if the parties can't agree. But again, the court systems usually have a list of a lot of, again, former judges that do this on a part-time basis and are willing to help, and same with the private bar attorneys.
So contact that municipality,
correct,
contact them.
Correct. And there are some third-party vendors that work on this as well.
All right. So. Mark Powers, some good advice. Thank you.